Hello. My rebuttal is in response to Austin Bailey's argument and video that the US should no longer be involved in Ukraine. And I believe Austin made many very good points. I'll try to address them all. However, I think the core issue that I have with his argument is a failure to recognize that Russia is an adversary of the United States and is an adversary to our allies. And throughout modern history up until today, Russia has been a persistent national security threat to us as a nation and our allies. So I believe this fight cannot really, between Ukraine and Russia, it's not really just between Ukraine and Russia, it involves us too, because Russia is our adversary. And, Russia has very expansionist tendencies. In 2008, they invaded Georgia and took territory. If their invasion in Ukraine is successful, it's reasonable to believe that they will invade more countries. And so when Austin says we've spent billions supporting Ukraine, how much more will we spend? That's a question of how much longer is Russia going to keep destabilizing the world and invading countries. So there's an argument to be made that if we don't punish Russia now and stop them now, it's just going to keep going on and on and on. And we're going to spend more money and more death and more destruction. I ran out of storage space. But when Austin says, how long can we keep this up? Well, I think the answer is that we can keep it up a very long time, as we've demonstrated in our recent history and conflicts such as Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. The United States has demonstrated the ability to put support behind a conflict for a very long time. And Austin asks, what if the war spills out of Ukraine? What's the risk in that? Well, I think the chance that the war will spread outside of Ukraine is highest if Russia secures victory in Ukraine, because then they'll be emboldened and turn their sights towards other countries. And Austin makes a good point that Europe should take more responsibility. And that could be reasonable, but I also think that our influence over Europe is what makes us strong. And if Europe starts to, take more of the burden for their own national security, we lose a lot of our influence. So from a selfish perspective of our own national security, it might not be in our best interest for Europe to take matters more into their own hands. And I would argue that they have been putting a lot of support behind Ukraine. And Austin says there needs to be more accountability. I would say fair enough, but it's not really an issue of whether we should support Ukraine or not. It's more an issue of, accountability. So I think Austin brings up very good points, but we just need to recognize that Russia, if they're not stopped in Ukraine, they probably won't stop after Ukraine. And they will continue to be adversarial to us and a threat to our national security, so we might as well weaken them while we have the chance. Thank you.